PDR Tool Time. Tools, reviews, and stories. From techs that you can trust.
Welcome everyone to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 164. I'm your host Vince D'Alessandro, along with Daniel Grom, John Renstrom, and we have a special guest tonight all the way from Missouri, which we'll introduce shortly. So hey, everyone that's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this Thursday and Friday, you got to get out to Anson. Anson
for the Bonanza.
The Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Yes. So Thursday we have the IMI EV training level 2, and that's going to start. Yes, that's going to start at 11 o'clock instead of an early start because
who's teaching it?
Huh?
Who's teaching it?
I'm teaching it, and Kevin Andrews. There's going to be the groundbreaking ceremony for Anson 2.0 in the morning on Thursday morning, and that's why it's delayed a little bit. So we're going to go and break ground and give our blessings for the new Anson 2.0, and then we're going to hightail it back to Anson and teach the IMI. So there are limited amount of spaces available, so get on that.
Go out and watch Christina use her new Carbon Tech shovel.
Yeah, did you see that thing? That was awesome.
Yeah, shovel attachment.
That was my idea.
Was it?
3 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
3 years I've been going to these Anson open houses. No groundbreaking. This year I don't get to make it.
It's like a mini MTE, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the Bonanza on Friday. So the Bonanza, they'll have the taco truck there. Tons of giveaways. Absolutely, the Anson people, they're the good people.
There's going to be a ton of celebrities there too.
Yeah, who's going to be there, Daniel?
Vince D'Alessandro is going to be there.
Oh man, I hope you get his autograph for me.
Eric Graves.
Daniel Grom.
No Mike way. Toledo.
Mike Toledo.
Damon Simmons. So if you have questions, wants, needs for Mobile Tech RX, now is the chance. You can go hit up Eric and Damon. They're going to be there. Instead of me beating them up after you send it to me on Facebook, now you can just beat them up in person.
Who's our sponsors, Daniel?
We got Magnatech Matt. And, I want to say something about Magnatech Matt. It's been saving me a lot lately.
All right.
And I'm loving it. And is there any rumors or anything about Magnatech, Matt, before we go on to our next sponsor?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to
announce,
announce. I don't really want to announce anything, but if you're,
there's something new coming out.
There's something new coming out, and if you're at the Bonanza in at Anson next week or this week, this airs on Tuesday. If you're at the Bonanza, you will be seeing the new generation coming out right around the corner.
Ooh. Okay. Our next sponsor is Hog Tabs and Hog Glue, the #1 selling glue in America. Woo-woo. And we got Moltech RX, the greatest software out there for PDR techs. And then, of course, we've got CBD Direct, which all you old techs like me are hurting out there. Take some CBD to get rid of those pains. And then Edgy Tools.
Yes, and keep in mind, guys, go to our website, pdrtooltime.com, for the discount codes for CBD Direct and Edgy Tools.
Man, nailed it out of the park on the first take. Probably not even going to have to edit like more than 5 or 10 minutes out of that intro.
Hopefully not.
Just
there you go.
Smooth.
So, Daniel,
let's talk. Let's introduce our.
Well, I was about to.
Okay.
All right. So, Daniel, you reached out to this gentleman here that has been around the industry. His company's been around the industry for many years. A lot of people know and respect their tools. And I'm glad that you got him on the show here. And let's welcome Mark Blehm from Blehm Tools.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about having you on the show because you guys were my first set of tools. And back when your dad was A1. And you guys your dad really started the whole tool industry. We certainly wouldn't have a show without him starting all this off. And I still have my original set of tools from your dad. And I didn't realize how lucky I was, but I realized that later on that I got a really good a starter set of tools from way back then. And just can't say enough about him.
Yeah, that's great, Daniel. I talk to people all the time that are like, hey, I've got your dad's tools just like you from way back. They're still going, and he was, just blessed with the ability to, to work with his hands to make things. We hear that quite regularly.
But he did a really good job early on. I mean, he really came up with some innovative designs, I think.
What was your dad's background? Was he a PDR guy prior, or was he a tool maker, or how did your dad get into this industry? Do you know the story?
Yeah. He was a mechanic in Acura of Springfield, Missouri. The first time he even heard or knew, what PDR was, Jerry Powell was working on vehicles there at Acura. So, this is it. This is in 90, 91. So Powell would be working on a vehicle, and my dad, would like try to peek around the corner and, see what's going on. And anytime Jerry Powell seen, Dad looking, he would just quit working. He would, wouldn't let anybody watch him. So, he kind of just developed a friendship with Jerry Powell there at Acura. Never did show him anything.
Yeah. So, well, the funny thing is, a lot of our listeners might not know who Jerry Powell was or was. But Jerry was one of the original Dent Wizard technicians that was first trained by Lido Valderrama. I have a hard time with his last name. Lido.
I know, I push his name up all the time.
The grandfather of PDR, basically, in this country. And Jerry Powell was one of the first guys ever trained by him.
Yeah. To my knowledge, I think, especially in our area here, he was the first guy to bring it to Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, Jerry was a legend. I still hear stories from guys all the time, and I hear techniques that I'm like, wow, oh my God, I've never heard that technique before. We were down at Ultra, and I forget who was telling us, but he was telling us about Jerry saying he always works the dent in line with the bulbs, and therefore you don't get the cornrows. Most people work it from front to back, and he said to work it within line with the bulbs. And I started doing that technique, and I get why he used to do it that way. So I still hear new techniques like that.
Yeah. So your dad, he started making tools early on in, the birth of PDR in this country, really. And it just kind of blossomed from there, huh?
Yeah, he originally was going to be a dent guy, he wanted to fix dent. So he went to be trained as dent crafters in Springfield. Kirk Stanton owned that company. A guy named Matt Miller that I don't know actually gave Dad most of his training. So while Dad's in training, the tools they had were crude, they were soft, they were not good, which back then I think that was the general consensus.
Yeah.
For
a lot of mild steel stuff that was out there.
Yeah. So he saw a need during the training. And I think actually maybe built some when he was getting trained, but he learned, and he actually trained 3 gentlemen, and he had to make some tools for them. So what they were doing, they were using the trunk springs for like your hand tools and stuff. And he said they were using the torsion bars from like 70s Chryslers and stuff for your big bars.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how he got started making tools, and just dipped them in the old plasti dip, and it was no one really knew where it was headed at that point. So.
Yeah. And then that was pretty much the development of A1 as back in the day, right?
Correct. He was actually A1 Dent.
Uh-huh.
So that was his dent company, and he had he did have a route around Southwest Missouri, and the tool thing just kind of spread like wildfire. Total word of mouth.
Yeah.
Back then, lots of guys getting trained, and it developed into him making tools full time. So
sure. Yeah, and even you mentioned people making tools out of torsion bars, and there was screwdrivers. I know Snap-on screwdrivers. They were hardened steel, so people were bending those and making them into tools and stuff like that. Anything they could get a hand on that was strong enough, it was basically what. There was nothing off the shelf, Yeah.
Right. And there was a recall on Acura Legends, he said. So back in the early 90s. So, he still had connections there at Acura of Springfield. So they would pull out the recalled springs, which were bent incorrectly. So he would go down there, and get a wad of those and make tools out of them.
Nice.
Which they make good tools, that's good. That's pretty good steel they put in those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It developed in, we obviously got a supplier of, where you can just order straight bars.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Well, hey, we'll take a second here and just mention that if you guys are looking them up, I mean, not only can you Google Blehm, but just go to pdrtoolstore.com. That's their website. So just get on their website and take a look at the prices and take a look at the tools.
So fast forward, you guys, he starts A1, eventually sells A1, and then was at that point, was he trying to retire at that point?
Not really retire. There was a lot of, he had personal reasons. It grew at the time he sold it. It had grown significantly, and I don't know. I think he just needed some time away.
Gotcha. But he eventually got dragged back in, obviously.
Right. So he sells A1 to John Kallenbach and Maria. My brother and I, at that point, we still worked there at A1. So okay. I'm a senior in high school. I'm going to school half a day. I'm working at A1 the other half. My brother works there full time. They had a no compete clause, which was 4 years. So, my dad helped, he stayed around, helped John kind of acclimate and, show him the ropes and everything, which we're still working there. So there was a big hailstorm in Aurora, Missouri. He sold A1 in August of 2000.
Okay.
So that hailstorm in Aurora was, I don't know. It might've been in it was 4 or 5 years after, somewhere in there, but went and worked hail. And he's at this time, he's what? I don't know. He's getting up there a little bit in age, and his hands were killing him he was using all A1 and, Dentcraft stuff probably. Hands were killing him. He had tons of ideas, for our mold injected handle, that we have on all hand tools. Idea for that, and just some new tools, and just wanted to bring it to market. So that's
awesome.
That's how we became Blehm. And
those mold injected handles, man, I love those things. As soon as I saw them, I bought them.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I was talking to, I forgot who I was talking to. I might have been talking to John Kallenbach about it, how he came about getting A1. And I guess he was the lawyer on the selling of A1 tools back in the day. And he was facilitating that. And he was looking at the numbers, and he was looking at the business, had no idea about PDR or tools or anything like that, and saw such a great value in what you guys were doing that he turned around and bought the company from you guys.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's a heck of a story.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a lawyer, nobody likes you if you're a lawyer. You're the scum of the earth.
They'll like you if you're a tool manufacturer.
You're a tool guy.
Tool guy. Everybody loves the tool guy.
And of course, we say that and joking because John couldn't be the nicest.
He's a nice.
He's a very nice man.
They're great people.
Yeah, great people. And I attribute that along with your father too. I got the opportunity to meet your father at a MTE in Texas when they moved it, the one and only time that they moved it to Texas, because it was kind of a disaster. That was I forgot, where was that?
Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi. Yes. See, it's trying to escape
that place was horrible.
Yeah, I was trying to escape my mind. But yeah, I met your father there. Very humble man, very nice guy. I couldn't thank him enough for all the dents that his tools have helped me fix throughout the years.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. I actually hope someday I get to meet your dad so I can thank him.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've always loved about the Blehm tools, besides the mold injection handles, which really were the first ones on the market that came to the market with something comfortable to hold on to while we're working, but also your whale tails, they're forged. They're not all forged, but most of them are forged, right?
All of our whale tails, yes, are.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yep.
So, and I'm a huge advocate for that. I mean, guys don't understand. They've been buying flat stock. I call it flat stock whale tails. So the reason they started making whale tails out of flat stock because they can laser cut it. It was faster, it's cheaper, it was easier. Forging a tool is time consuming. And it's hard to do. And you have to have the right equipment, the right facilities for it. And nobody does it. And, early on, I actually made tools for a few years, and I got lucky enough to get with some guys that forged. And I still have my forged whale tails and blue tips, and they're still going. They just don't break. They don't. But you can get a forged tool so much thinner and stronger. And when you're twisting the handle, if you've got a flat stock whale tail, you're twisting that handle probably, if you've got it underneath the brace, you're twisting that handle almost to it starts touching the end of the handle starts touching the other side of the panel. And with a forge tool, you barely twist it and it starts moving the metal. And it's such a big difference. And guys don't really get that, how good your whale tails are. I mean, they're just incredible. And then on top of it all, you sell it for a lot cheaper than the guys that are making it out of flat stock.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. So,
it like you said, Daniel, the forged whale tails, our whale tails, the tips are really thin, and they're strong. I mean, they have a lot of drive. Like the laser cut whale tails, I think they're good and they've got their place and everything. A lot of guys have made a lot of money with them over the years. But who doesn't want a thin whale tail? You can get in anywhere in between anything. Yeah. They're thin. They have good drive. The shafts, are forged as well. It's a different process. So the shaft of our whale tails, though, they increase in thickness down the shaft, which, you don't get that wind up that you do on a laser cut whale tail. They just have incredible drive.
Yeah. But they're out of round stock. So you don't also get that snail trail thing going.
Right. Round stock. And then, there is a flat section there, but we bevel those edges off. So it is more of an oval shaft to keep from getting those high spot, snail trails and high spots.
Sure. Yeah. So what you're basically saying is the craftsmanship that goes into your tools is, there's a lot of craftsmanship that's going in there.
There really is. And, we have a Jerry Blehm on our side. So, figured a lot of this stuff out. A lot of our equipment is one-off made by him. And, it's pretty amazing the stuff he can do, really.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Everybody's going to ask me this question. What is it going to take to see you guys at an MTE? I mean, I'm assuming maybe that your dad doesn't want to go to MTE because it's too much work and too much, and he doesn't want to get into that hustle bustle, is my perception. Is that correct?
No, it's not. I mean, I guess, so it's at Blehm Tool. It's me, Mark, my brother, Mike Blehm, and my dad. So, and like even coming on here, we're just shy, I guess. It's just out of my comfort zone. I'll tell you that right now. But, just now doing the social media thing and all that, I'm trying to get in on that. And
that's a whole different world.
Oh yeah, it is. And, I guess, I don't know, we've kind of been in the dark on a lot of things, from not being on there. But no, the thing is, the show, it's a lot of work for vendors to go down there. It's a lot of work. From what I've learned here over these, few months, you need new products. I mean, I think that's a must for a vendor to go. But, we had thought about going to it. I think on it, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to, at least if we don't have a booth, I'm going to come and I'm going to meet all you guys and shake hands and, at least be there and check it out. Because I personally have never been. So I think it would be good to at least attend.
Yeah. The best thing about it is the people. And honestly, MTA has changed over the last 5 years and everybody's come together. There is no competition. Everybody's friendly. I mean, we've had a couple bad eggs, but we weeded them out and they're no longer around. And it gets better and better every year. And it's about the friendships, the forging of alliances, if
right.
you will.
Well, the networking, I mean, both at the show, after the show, it's absolutely insane. Heck,
it's fun too.
I sit with our own competition and have drinks and talk and hang out and have a great time. Not to mention all the other tool vendors and everybody out there. I think it's definitely well worth your guys' time to at least have you come down, check everything out. I don't necessarily agree with needing to have a new tool. I think just being there and, I've been rolling across you guys' website here while we've been talking. You got whale tails from 1/2 inch, 9/16, 1 inch, inch and 5/16. You got a heck of a collection. A full set's $215.
Yeah.
I think you guys would haul a trailer down and drive home nothing but sailboat fuel. Really. So
that would be good. That would be great.
And that's one of those things, Mark, because I think with Blehm Tools, I've always viewed it as you guys, you have your heads down, you're making awesome tools. You're not really worried about what other people are doing. You're just forging forward, doing your thing. It's more like a boutique type of thing, but there's a huge world out there that hasn't even touched your tools yet. And I think, I would be excited for them to get their hands on your tools because I know how much time and energy and money that Blehm Tools have made me throughout the years. And I feel like I have like a secret against them because they might not even know what a Blehm whale tail is or any other
just
the
the
other tools.
International presence that's there. Guys from Japan, from South America, from
Korea,
Eastern Europe,
Australia. Yep.
I mean, UK. I mean, Spain, France.
You guys are like the quietest tool company in the PDR world, but yet you mass produce.
Well, I mean, I guess you could call it that. We can produce. So with the experience between the three of us, I mean, when it's time to work and produce stuff, we're very efficient. So, but having that, we want everything. We want every tool, everything that goes out our doors. We have our hands on it. We want it to be quality. That means more than, mass producing, making the dollar. We want it to be, it's got to be right. It's our name. It's our family name on it. We take pride in what we do. Quality over quantity is it.
Oh yeah.
Now let me ask you this: how old are you?
I'm 30. I'll be 36 in April.
Okay. And your brother's older or younger?
Yeah, he's 39.
Okay. Have either of you been trained in PDR?
No, our dad, has taught us. So, and he's a proficient dent guy for sure.
Yeah.
So, we can fix your average hail dent, but so the world of the huge smash repairs, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Gotcha. But you got a good understanding, which I like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can read the, I'm not big on the lines, but the fog from an LED light. Yeah. We can, like I said, we can fix, average size hail dents. So.
Gotcha. That's good. But so honestly, you guys are going to be the future of your tool company eventually. Right. And I think it's great that you're coming on the show. First time being on a interview like this. We really appreciate that. And
we're not the boogeyman. We're just, three dent guys having a conversation about tools.
Exactly.
We love our industry.
And just for the record, I fixed a hail car last weekend.
Okay.
It's good. I'm still a dent guy.
Okay, good.
Yay. But we love, bringing you to the forefront for those guys that, don't see you on the radar screen. And we're hoping to put you out there. And because I think it's important for every tool company to be at MTE to support the whole of the industry. I think it's getting more and more important as the future goes along, and you guys just are killing it, and people don't know it.
And if you guys have never used a Blehm tool, there's a difference. That strength of the forging, the way the handle fits in your hand, awesome stuff.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
I don't anticipate you get a lot of returns either, or broken tools, because I've had my tools for years now, and I put them through the ringer, and I'm really hard on my tools, and I've never broken a Blehm tool ever.
That's great.
I have. I broke one, and I called and ordered the replacement right away. I didn't even attempt to warranty it because it was like I put it on the shelf. It was like a source of pride to me.
You broke one.
Well, that little sucker made me so much money that I was just like, Yeah. And it was like right at the end on aluminum hood. I'm actually trying to find the part number for the rod that I broke. Interestingly enough, the Toyota Tundra that I just fixed last weekend, I used the broken tool to do a very hard to reach dent. I was able to bend it right where I needed to be, and I still used my broken Blehm tool to finish the panel.
There you go. All right, on.
And that's why you never throw away broken tools, because you never know when you have to take it to the bench grinder and make it into another tool.
Absolutely. That's what I always do.
Yeah.
So is there anything are you guys working on any future designs, or is your dad still like trying to come up with stuff? Are you guys still
so
inventing things?
Dad is so the plan is Dad, is ultimately going to retire probably for good here. I don't know, within the next few years. He will always be around though, whether, technically retired or what. He can't just sit still.
Oh, hell no. No.
But I plan on, buying the company from him. My brother and I will still run it. We're going to, do everything we can. And I don't know, we just, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we're working on new stuff, for sure, to come out. So,
well, there's one tool that people might have overlooked, and maybe it's just me because you actually sell them, so you know what's going out the door. But your ratcheting handles are extremely comfortable as well. The pivoting on them, the way that there's no play in them at all that I have ever found, and they've lasted many years now without giving any play to them. So there's a lot of guys out there that are looking for ratcheting handles, and a lot of people complain about other companies, and I'm not going to throw them out there, but there's handles that are not comfortable. But if you're looking for a ratcheting door tool, definitely look at the Blehm ratcheting handles.
Because these are mold injected with
they
a rubber coating. They're super comfortable.
Yeah.
Indestructible. I've never worn one out. I mean, I've had a few of them that don't even show any wear at all.
No.
So, all right,
do you make those in house, by the way?
We make the mechanism. We don't manufacture, but
Right. The handles, I mean, the mold.
correct. The mold injecting, we do all that in house.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm on your website. Are the blackouts like a very limited time?
Yeah, I think we've only got like 2 or 3 of those left.
It's going to be a race now. Can they be gone by Tuesday at 5?
Yeah,
So-
we just sold a set of them just I think yesterday. So that kind of put them down. There's like 2 or 3. We may do another run of them sometime down the road, but yeah, that was just a limited edition.
Cool.
And I'll remind our listeners that they do make God's color, the neon green. That is the color that God intended most tool handles to be. And Blehm was one of the first to put those out there. I'm just throwing that out for you.
Yeah. There might be a matching mat to match that color here in about a week too.
Ooh.
Just to throw that out there.
Very
So
good.
once again, I'm going to remind everybody, pdrtoolstore.com. That's the Blehm website. Get on there. See if you can be get the last of those blackout adjustable handles because they look cool. They come in a nice close second to the green.
You like the green? Yeah.
All my Blehm tools were green.
Yep.
Yeah, with that in mind, I'm primarily a door dinger. John, you're a hail guy, and I'm sure you have a lot of flags left and right in Blehms. But the number one tool that I have that I use on a daily basis from Blehm is the bendable whale tail, and I'm going to put it in the show notes the number for it. And this tool, when I first started my company 20 years ago, I was in a panic trying to replace the tools that I had to give back to the company I work for, and I came across the bendable whale tail from Blehm, and I bought it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a holy grail, because you could bend it in any shape you want. You could curve it. Back then we had the Chrysler, what is it, the terrible,
Sebring?
the
Sebring convertible?
right. Yeah, the Sebring convertible.
Yeah.
You would have to bend the crap out of a tool to get it into those quarter panels, and the Blehm tool was able to do that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I better buy a second one in case I break one. Well, here we are 20 years later, and I still have the original one and the untouched one from 20 years ago because I never broke the original one.
Do you have it under glass? Break when
Yeah.
emergency?
Break for when emergency, break glass.
Yeah, be the coffee table in the living room.
But it's one of those things that when you have a simple door ding and a brace on a door, it's my go-to tool. I grab that tool, I bend it in the S pattern, and it goes right to the brace and right behind it, and it's flat to the panel. Doesn't leave snail trails or anything like that, and it gets the dent out quick and easy and clean.
Yeah.
So,
The angled shaft tools, the 8-piece set, man, that was my lifesaver on hoods. When I first got a hold of those, the 8-piece angled shaft, and it was the B10 ALM, the left, the shortest one was the one that I broke, and it took some abuse. I can't even begin to describe how much abuse that poor little teeny hand tool took. But man, those things were the saving grace for my hands on hoods.
Yeah, Mark sent us, me and Vince, a bendable flag tool.
yes, I've been using it now for 2 weeks. It's awesome.
And right, yeah. I had to go through a what was it? Oh, it was a Camaro. And if you know, the Camaro's trunk is like really small, and it's like 2 feet from the friggin' panel. So I bent this thing into a big S pattern to get it behind the brace in that quarter panel to get to a dent, and it was great. I mean, it's really easy to bend, but when you go to twist it, super strong. Loved it. Did the job.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the whole concept behind the bendable whale tail and that bendable flag tool. So you've got that 4 or 5 inches of tip there, the flat area. That's our standard temper that we put on all of our whale tails and tools. So
Gotcha.
It's hard out there. So then the shaft though is annealed, which is softer material, which makes it's made to bend. That's why we make those tools. You can bend that shaft back and forth, whatever you want, bend it a different way. It's not going to break. I've personally heard a lot of guys, they don't want to bend their tools, they spend money on, which for me, I don't think about it like that, but these tools are meant to be bent.
Yeah.
They're for certain situations, like you said, Daniel. You bend it, tweak it to get it right up in there where you need. And the soft shaft maintains torsional strength for twisting. It's still strong. Mm-hmm. That concept obviously wouldn't work for your straight leverage push rods or anything. It'd be like those old tools, we were talking about back in the day. They just aren't going to work. So these are twist tools, but they're super strong for twisting.
And here's the funny thing, Mark. That bendable whale tail, the 14 bendable whale tail 26, it's $56. For a forged whale tail that will last you probably longer than your career. So it's a no-brainer. It's funny because I've been talking about this tool for years on PDR Tool Time, and Daniel, he doesn't pay attention to what I say all that much. So I think it goes in one earphone and out the other, right, Daniel? Come on.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like,
I don't believe everything you say.
Right.
You lie to me all the time.
So like 6 to 8 months ago, he finally buys one from you guys, right? And he gets all mad and pissy with us. He's like, what? He calls us up on our little Voxer thing. He's like, how come you guys didn't tell me that Blehm has a forged whale tail? And it was like, dude, we've been telling you that for like 2 years.
No, I've been talking about forged tools, and you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me.
Well, we did.
They told you, they didn't hit you in the head with a brick.
Right.
Well,
I didn't buy it for you and hand deliver it to you is what the problem was.
Something like that. Jeez. So I want, you know what, guys? All of our listening audience, everybody go out and buy one of these tools and sell out Blehm. Yeah. Let them know the power of PDR Tool Time, and let's just blow their doors off.
If you're a door dinger and you do not have the 26-inch bendable whale tail, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, every single technician that is a route tech or a door dinger retail should have that tool in their arsenal, number one. So now, Mark, you were at the PDR World Cup this year, right? Blehm showed
Correct.
Up for that. Yeah,
we were there with our full display of our everything we have to offer.
Yeah,
well, that's just down the road from you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half from us. Okay. So,
oh, good. Well,
super for us.
Yeah, and at least that was like a little bit of a taste of a trade show, even though it was smaller in size. But we're all kind of hoping that that's going to grow with some popularity and get some traction behind it as well.
I definitely think there's a huge potential for it. We liked it, everything that went on. I think there's going to be some significant growth this year.
Yeah,
and we will be back.
Awesome.
We will be at the PDR World Cup November 7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah.
So
now, is there any talks at all? Do you guys have any partnerships or distribution? Like, can they find your tools on like the Anson vans or the other vans driving around at all?
No, not Anson. And Daniel and I had spoke. That's a possibility there. I probably need to reach out. It's Craig and Christina, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I think they used to have a relationship with your dad years ago. Maybe
they might have. Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, we need to get that together again.
Yeah, because I mean they're out there, putting tons of miles on. They're getting the tools to the guys. It would be a good fit for us, I think.
Yeah, especially when technicians get your tools in their hands, they're going to see the difference. It'd definitely be beneficial for you guys.
For sure. Yeah, definitely going to look into that.
Yeah,
we do have. We have we've had a couple of overseas distributors. We have one in Italy that's pretty big. But in the States, with internet and shipping and everything,
Let's call you guys
get
direct.
stuff pretty easy. But like you said, that it's getting it in their hands. Trying it out, feeling it. It's a big deal.
There's some of us techs that have to be hit upside the head with a quality tool.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's the thing, because for years, everyone that listens to our show knows that I hate tools that have any bend to them. And, that's why there's certain manufacturers that I stick with, and they're my go-to. And definitely Blehm is one of those that stands the test of time. There's not a lot of wiggle. I don't want to have to twist a tool first before I start moving a dent. I want to be able to twist and things are moving right away.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't like bow flexing. I like dent flexing.
Yeah. Bow flexing. Hey, that's a good analogy there. I like that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
So why don't we bring this thing to a conclusion? And I want to thank you for taking the time, and hopefully we've inspired you to maybe put yourself out there a little bit more, and maybe show up at an MTE, and that'll inspire you to start coming to the show.
I know that's what happened with A1. Maria and John showed up, and they're like, "Oh,
we hammered them."
Yeah. And
I actually spoke to John just a few days ago about it. So he'd said that's what they done. They went. They just attended. Kind of check out everything that's going on, and I think that would be a good idea for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you guys aren't money motivated, and that's a great thing. I'm not a money motivated guy either, but there's definitely, you have a lot to bring to this industry with your tools. And I think it would really, if it's not money motivated, it might be motivated to, get your product out there and help some technicians make their lives easier with better tools.
For sure.
Now, I actually want one more question for you. Do you guys, can guys call you up and order custom tools or custom sizes or whatever like that?
Absolutely. So with our mold injecting of the handles, that process does slow us down on custom tools. The way with the plastisol, the dip, it's easier to just change colors. So what, we do big, larger batches of each individual color and then cycle through. But yeah, absolutely. We'll work it in. It's not a next day turnaround or anything like that. Usually it'll take us 2-3 weeks somewhere in that area. But yeah, we can definitely do custom work.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It was great meeting you, and hopefully we'll meet in person sometime soon. And you want to take us out, John?
Don't do stupid stuff.
And level up your tools, guys.
And remember to keep it stiff.